So, after having spent 2 episodes dealing with the cadet's trauma,
and having been totally cured through the power of theater,
it's time to gear up for the inevitable 2-part finale, which brings back events from the pilot and the Miyazaki incident for what we hope will be one big explosive ride. Be still, my beating heart. Reviewing the first part of a 2-part story is always challenging. We're essentially reviewing half a story. Well, what about season-long arcs that encompass a single story, as is so popular these days?
That's right. We do manage to review these like a chapter of a book at a time.
Okay, well, let's start with the setup. It's the end of the year for the Academy, and celebrations are underway as the Athena warps to Beta Z to also celebrate the opening of the new Federation HQ.
I love it when major events happen at the same time.
Nothing like writing a coincidence to make it happen. Of course, it's a contrivance. Stories are full of those, so you can't really criticize this one for doing the same. Plus, the Beta Z angle is only really there so the team can take the Athena back into space. What's more important is that Caleb just remembered to use a simple code word to check for his mom's messages, and all of a sudden, he's got 2 years worth of info on his mom. Amazing, no one ever thought to check that. Well, he does make a point to mention how stupid he was not to think about that, so I guess that makes it okay. Sure, of course it does.
Turns out, she's on a planet far outside Federation space, and her last message was from 2 days ago, so she might still be there.
So he's gonna ask Aki for help to get her mom, right? Nope. Turns out, Nuzbraka's up to his old tricks and stole a bunch of really nasty mines during the Miyazaki incident, and he's out there, somewhere. So Starfleet is taking no chances and bringing all its ships back into Federation space. So, Caleb's gonna steal a shuttle instead.
Which Sam will help him do because she's more rebellious than she used to be.
Yeah, I didn't mind Sam tagging along, but how Genesis and Darum got on board felt like the laziest writing you could possibly imagine. Somehow the writers needed them to go with Caleb even though they didn't contribute much to the story. To be fair, everything that happened on the planet could have been handled by Caleb and Sam on their own. But hey, sometimes you get unexpected guests you have to allow to tag along. Except, usually, they end up being crucial to the mission, but not really in this case. So I guess that's different and an unexpected turn. Yeah, I guess. Meanwhile, Tarima and Jaden find Caleb's mom's messages on Caleb's pad. Because even 1,000 years in the future, if you leave your iPad open and unattended, there will be no security locks to protect your privacy. You have a point there. But it does allow them to tell Aki what happened, and she offloads everyone from the Athena onto Beta Z. Reno somehow had an autopilot setting installed on the ship, so she and Aki could pilot the Athena on their own, and off they go.
Very Star Trek 3.
Star Trek 3 had far more thrills and tension, GG. Meanwhile, on the planet, Caleb finds his mom. Because of course he does. Even assuming there's but a single market on an entire planet, such a place would have to be gargantuan. But he just wanders around for a bit and, hey presto, Mom! This is a pretty familiar trope, McCluck. Okay, let's be clear. Tropes exist for a reason, and I do accept that. But sometimes, it would be fun to see a story that goes against such expectations, but in a good way. Not like subverting your expectations like The Last Jedi did. Ugh. Anyway, it would make for a more thrilling adventure. So, Caleb finds his mom, hides the fact he's with Starfleet from her. Well, stands to reason since Starfleet imprisoned her. The other cadets get in trouble. Caleb chooses to help them rather than go with his mom. His mom then decides to go and help him. It's a well-worn path. See what I mean? There's no surprises.
Could it be that we've watched so many movies and TV shows that we can now foretell what's going to happen?
No. Shows like For All Mankind still manage to surprise me. This here is just writing by the numbers. You know what's gonna happen because there's no originality. Like the Athena hiding in the nebula. How many times has this happened in Star Trek? Too many to count for sure.
Well, what about the mines? How's that for originality?
Okay, fine. At that scale, that's new. But then it shows the writer's complete lack of understanding about just how vast space is. To encircle the Federation, which is comprised of hundreds of solar systems with Omega-47 mines, you need trillions upon trillions of them. Makes a Dyson sphere look like something MacGyver could build before breakfast with duct tape, a pocket knife, and a spoon. It's beyond absurd. And the end image showing a sphere around the Federation. I'm sorry, but I laughed out loud. Yeah, that was ridiculously absurd. On top of that, pretty much every beat of the story was predictable. There were a couple of nice character moments, like between Caleb and Tamira, and Sam's new personality is an interesting touch. Plus, we knew there would be a connection to the pilot, as Caleb was bound to meet his mom again for the finale. Except, since they knew the second season was a go even before the first one had aired, they could have just kept that hanging until the end of that one. It would have been more original. It certainly would have been, and really, I didn't like how easy it was for Caleb to suddenly find his mom. And putting mines around the edge of the Federation has got to be the stupidest reveal we've ever had in Star Trek. Stupider than the burn having been triggered by a child crying because his mom died. I stand corrected. The second stupidest reveal. But what annoys me the most is the lack of originality, so I'm awarding 300th Night 1.5 paws. But tell me, what do you think of this episode? Do share your thoughts in the comments, and if you like what we do,
and how we do it,
and you feel you'd like to help us out, please hit the join button and become a channel member.
or consider joining our Patreon instead.
We'll leave a link to it down in the description. Thanks for watching. See you all next time, and until then, live long and keep watching the skies. He does make a point to mention how stupid he was not to think about it. Well, he does make a point